Okay, today's the day we're going to dye the Harley-Davidson pants. So these are the grit pant in partnership with Rev'It, and I have the gray pant and I also have the gray jacket, and I don't like the whole matchy thing, so we're gonna attempt to dye these today. Gonna go through the process a little bit just in case it works, because I've already gotten some people that are interested in dyeing their pants as well. So if you're not familiar with Rit Dye, this is Rit Dye. So it's a liquid, and for this project you will need the synthetic. If you get the original or the natural, the whatever they call it, it'll only do like cottons and some stuff like that, cottons, linens, canvases. So you need the synthetic. This is what we use to dye handle scales on pocket knives and stuff. So happen to have a bunch of Rit Dye and a cool wet dry place to do it and make a big mess. We got young Mr. Gabriel right here stirring. So we've made a solution. So this is, I believe we made a heavy concentration of this when we made it last, because we wanted a nice deep green.
We had a graphite and a peacock green to do this. Yeah,
good job. I couldn't remember which green it was. Okay, so
we only have one green here.
Yeah, we have a peacock green.
And we wanted a darker green, so we used graphite.
Okay.
Unless we could have used, wait, that's another graphite. Why do we use two graphite?
Because I buy in bulk, because it's cheaper. Okay. So, okay, well, if you hear all the random noises, that's this one that if you follow us, you probably just saw he did his first dirt bike ride solo. Okay, so we're gonna come in here, I'm gonna hold the pan, and Gabriel, watch out, that's a bandsaw. Okay.
Straighten this.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do the bottom cuff first. The bottom cuff, we're gonna do the bottom cuff first, this area. So use the toothbrush, grab the toothbrush, because I don't want to just pour this on here. This is going to be us figuring this out as well, just so you know. Okay, and use that. Here we go. Test one, and we're going to put that on there. Oh, they're not waterproof, so that should be soaking in. Yeah, we just want to mitigate some of the boilage factor because it's a synthetic, and I don't know the melting point of this specific synthetic.
Are you going to paint it green today?
We are dyeing them green today, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's definitely making them wet. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of that and see if it's okay. Don't want to melt them, but don't want to take all day either.
Understand that.
Yeah, so try to make a little pool. Try to make a pool out of this. There we go, yeah. And we're gonna go like this, and we'll experiment on this bottom cuff. No, leave the toilet alone.
What are you doing?
You know what we're doing. There we go.
Yeah.
So it's definitely getting it wet. It's just hot enough. Will you brush that into that dry spot?
What are you doing for that?
There we go. Does it look more green?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of.
Okay, so can you drain that onto this other part with the Velcro on it? Pull it that way, yeah. So make a little pool over here. Yeah. Yeah, let's not do that. Okay, here, hold the camera.
Hello.
Okay, I'm gonna get a little pool right here. Okay. And it also smells fantabulous.
Does it?
No, absolutely not. Okay, and you have a little pool over here, like inside the cup?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll put that right there.
And that drain has something there.
Yeah, that's where we should start. We should start getting like underneath it. Okay, there you go. And so one of the ways you're supposed to do this is just dunk the whole thing into basically a hot vat of dye. I didn't want to do that because I don't want to melt my pants. Now, if you know what material they are and you know the melting point, then boiling water is not going to hurt them. Feel free to just dunk them. But we didn't know if this was going to work at all, so this is just
Take one.
Take test one of
green dye.
Who knows if green dye will work? So now I'm just gonna get a. Oh, thank you for catching that.
Yeah, at least I'm trying.
Yeah. Okay, and I want to get some on this darker stuff up here too to see if we can get that a different color. Okay. Here, hold this for me again. Awesome. We will probably have shaky camera maneuvers in this one. I'll apologize ahead of time. Let's run this bit. Right. And once we know this will work, putting this in a vat will be much easier because this is not the easiest procedure currently.
No, it's not.
Okay, so I just let that sit just like that, and we're gonna see if it goes darker.
Okay. So do we need the toothbrush?
The toothbrush can go put back in the pan.
Okay.
Okay. So for now, we are in a holding process. We're gonna let this dry a little bit. We're gonna let that eke its way into the fabric, hopefully a little bit more, and see if we can get a darker green as well. Okay, so we're not nearly as patient as we should be, but we've gotten the green off, and it's wiping off green, but it kind of just looks like it's wet. I'm not sure if there's any green in there or not, but since we did a little research, we found the melting point of polyester is 482 degrees Fahrenheit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a big batch of green and try to completely saturate said pants in the vat of green. And maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. We'll see. So what we've done now is we grabbed my wife's dye pot, so I'm not gonna get in trouble for using this because it's already meant for dyeing. A lot of people will have to go buy a pot or their wife will yell at them. So we have a dye pot, we have 1.5 gallons of water in here, and we have half a bottle of our synthetic Rit dye in peacock green. The instructions are on the back of it, super fine print. So we're making the mixture twice as strong as it says for polyester. Typically you would put half a bottle of this in with 3 gallons. We're doing that within a gallon and a half, excuse me. And you'll notice the soapy bubbles. The soapy bubbles are there because it says to. It either helps penetration into the fabric or something, who knows, but it does make a difference. I've tried it without and it doesn't work as well. So follow the directions, they know what they're talking about. So now we're bringing this up to a boil. When it's up to a boil, we'll shake this really well. I think that's gonna be his job. He likes shaking things. We're gonna put that whole bottle in there, get it green, take it off of the heat. So the water won't be able to melt the polyester, but if your pan is still on heat, the actual pan can melt your pants. So take it off of heat, put it on like a cold tile floor, whatever you got, and yeah, and shake and shake. That way the pan doesn't melt your pants either. So we're gonna wait for this to get to a boil, then we're gonna continue. And he's gonna be shaking the whole time, I bet.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. Water's boiling, so we're gonna dump that in there, and then we're gonna try to rinse out the package a little bit. And yeah, go ahead. And get the remaining dye out of there. Okay, so you stir.
I put the lid. Wait, where do I put the lid?
Oh, just put it down.
Okay.
Yeah, look at all that extra dye in there. And watch out, it is hot.
I can see that. There's steam coming up.
Okay. Okay, we're boiled. Can't see, yep. Okay. Camera can't see either. Okay, so let's turn that off. Here, hold it down for me. Oh, yeah, okay, we're gonna put this on the floor. And let that cool off just a second.
Yes. Now let's grab the mix.
Go fast.
And so now we just dunk or what?
Yeah, we're literally just gonna dump.
Okay then.
We're gonna see how much we can dump.
Usually we're allowed to put the entire thing in.
Well, yeah, but I just don't want. I'm very cautious about melting the bottoms of my pants.
I understand. I mean, like one time I melted the bottom of my pants. Well, no, that wasn't the bottom. Well, it was the bottom, but not the very, very bottom.
Ooh, that's hot. Caution, hot. Get something hot, here we go.
It's nice to be able to do this again.
I'll be black.
It's still so hot.
Yeah, I'll push you back.
Well, it's actually kind of nice. It's really hot because my back is cold.
Okay, yeah.
They say let's get that a bit wet. Well, yeah.
Well, I fully agree. But I think we're gonna have to rotate it a bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
There we go, yeah. Hey, we're doing it, yeah.
Put it in the sink.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, steam. Oh, it is getting darker.
It is getting darker.
Like into a black.
And it might just go black. And
that's okay. We don't want gray.
we just don't want gray. That's really the thing. So it's not just about getting it wet. It's about being able to soak a little bit while it's wet. Yes. So it's not just, oh, I got that one spot wet. No, it's got to soak too. So if I get up.
Steam hit the camera.
And they say to wear gloves.
We don't do that.
I have gloves for other things, but
No.
I don't mind being green a little bit.
Green air. Green earth. Because his hands are already kind of green.
Yeah, it's just.
We have water.
Oh, running water, what a modern convenience that is. Okay.
Sugar strand around.
Hat.
Almost done.
Uh-huh.
Ow.
Yep.
That hit the camera.
Okay, let's leave that alone for 5 minutes. We're going to give it 5 minutes. I'll set a timer. 5 minutes. Okay, go ahead and turn that off. We'll be back in 5.
4.
Filming.
And filming.
Okay, 5 minutes. Well, plus or minus.
Woo.
Now we're going to try to turn these over to where maybe this will drain onto that. Oh,
Woo. Ow.
yeah, that's hot. Here, cold water.
That's still hot. Oh, now it's cold.
Okay. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to let that sit for 5 minutes. I know that was a very exciting segment of this video series, but very exciting. Flipping pants in a pot. Okay, hit the top button, man.
Yep. Bye. See you next time.
So now we need to make sure everything's wet, preferably drippy. Yep, drippy. Do you see any dry spots?
No.
Here, hold up. Okay. So I don't want to ring it because I want this to sit in there as long as possible.
But hey, it's looking green.
Excellent. Okay, so let's take this. Take this over here.
I put it where we all started. No, it didn't.
If I can get the drip back into the bucket.
That'll be amazing, because we have another thing to dye.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we're just going to let this drip dry. Hopefully it's green or darker. We will.
Green.
I'll let this dry, and then I'll finish this video. I'll finish this video with a recap of seeing if it's actually any darker, if it's any different. I'll keep you updated, and that wraps it up for this part. See you later when this is dry.
Bye.
Okay, here we're filming the final dye job. Okay, so as you can see, it is a tiny bit darker. In the sunlight, you can see just a very faint green. Let's see if I can show you that at all. You can just get that faint green look from it. But largely, comparing the two, there is not a whole lot of difference between that color. Yes, it's a little darker. The question my wife asked was then, well, what happens when you wash it one time? You are supposed to hand wash these, so I will test that in another video in the future, but I'm gonna call this a fail because it didn't get noticeably darker. What I will do is I'm gonna wash them, see if the kind of green hue stays, and if it does, I'm gonna try again with a more concentrated batch of green or black or whatever color I can get it to go darker. I'll probably try green again, but I'll make a super concentrated batch, make a bunch of it so I can just immerse all of it in there and see what that does. So thanks for watching. Sorry it didn't work, but it is what it is, and there you go. That's what it is. Gonna call it a fail. Have a great day.